A few months ago, I pulled together a video promoting the upcoming Cowtown Amateur Radio Club's Buildathon program, in which we built this guy, the ADX digital transceiver. The project and the ADX have been an outstanding success and fulfilled all our objectives for the program, as well as the design intent behind the radio. We received several requests for information about the program, so I put this video together to help and encourage other clubs and individuals to build the ADX, to take up the challenge and have as much fun and learning as we have. So during the video, we'll cover the aim of our Buildathon and what we set out to achieve. We'll talk about the ADX, what it is and why we chose it. Then we'll go into some of the details around the Buildathon project, how we turned the idea into a reality, the resources that we've made available for others, and the results and the outcomes of the program. We'll also hear from some of the participants who took place in the Buildathon. The Buildathon is really an event to promote the hobby of amateur radio and generate interest and camaraderie amongst our membership. It provides an opportunity for learning and the development of skills, particularly for our new hams, and getting them involved in some of the practical aspects of the hobby. It also enables us to build our membership and its participation, hopefully attracting new members and increasing existing membership renewal.
One of the things that we have discovered on this is how much people enjoyed the camaraderie of building and debugging and putting the equipment on the air. It's been a great boost for our club.
The whole project has been good, not just for this club, but for other clubs that have said, hey, this sounds like fun, it's exciting, gives us something to work with, and others are wanting to do it.
In selecting the project for our program, we wanted something that was relatively inexpensive, had to be easy to build using through-hole components, and deliver a learning experience across a range of skills. We wanted a practical product that the builder can use and enjoy. We wanted them to gain confidence during the process to go on and build other things at a later stage and have fun and then go out and enjoy what they'd built.
Our goals in this were to create a project that members would learn how to solder, learn something about construction techniques and debugging, learning how to assemble parts through hole, not surface mount, but also to give them an introduction to other parts of the spectrum that they have capabilities of operating on. And the new digital modes are excellent low power modes that have tremendous success. And the members are finding great joy and great learning from our ham radio hobby.
The ADX is a very capable little radio. Puts out about 5 watts on 4 digital modes, Whisper, JS8, FT8 and FT4. And it can be programmed to operate on any of the 7 HF bands that I've listed there. The bands are selected via software and you manually change the bandpass filter as you move from one particular band to the other. I encourage you to go and have a look at the video that I put together showing how we built the radio and also the capabilities of it, and the link to that is found in the description down below. So what we end up with is a really fantastic, neat little unit which provides hours and hours of fun and excitement as you work the HF bands using digital modes. You can see here, this was the first time I set it up and used it, signal coming in across the top, two-way QSOs taking place on the right. If we go across to see where the signals are being heard on Grid Tracker, you can also see the spots from my transmissions, which are finding their way all across various areas of the United States. I also switched it on to Whisper and left the Whisper beacon running for a while. You can see here, even with a small number of watts, I had signals going all the way to Australia and down to New Zealand, across to Europe, as well as all the way across the United States. Either way you look at it, the ADX is a capable unit which met our project requirements. We brought our kits together through a group buy, and we supplied a 10-metre low-pass filter with every kit in order to be able to support our technician class members getting on the air. Additional filters could be ordered, and most people bought a set of filters to suit the antenna that they wanted to use. We put the kit together for just under $30 a kit, but we initially set out to build 25 and ended up building 45 kits. So you can certainly save a lot of money on freight if you know how many kits you're building in the first place. We put the kits together through an event where we brought everybody together and assembled the kits for use in the project. From the bill of materials, we developed a spreadsheet and placed orders on suppliers, and it wasn't long before component parts started to arrive. We've developed a spreadsheet which identifies the number of individual components necessary to complete your kits We've also listed the suppliers where we sourced our components. This spreadsheet is available with all the other resources we've made available for this project. Prior to ordering the main components, we built some prototypes and were able to test them out thoroughly and also ensure they were compliant with FCC requirements. This gave our experienced hands an opportunity to learn about the project before they went and supported people during the Buildathon program. We developed a very detailed construction manual for the project. It contains lots of photographs, diagrams, hints, tips and instructions as to how to build the ADX successfully. And this was used with great success during the building process.
I will say the instructions that have been provided for this project are fantastic. Very detailed pictures, detailed instructions. I've kind of just been able to tear into it myself and then ask more experienced Elmers in the club.
Having access to experienced builders and expertise not only assisted new hands on their learning journey, it also opened up new conversations and an opportunity for the more experienced hands to share and enhance their enjoyment of amateur radio. In order to keep the project alive whilst we waited for our components to be delivered, we issued a series of project updates to stimulate discussion and excitement around associated topics: antennas, 3D printing, power supplies. And then when we came to build the project, we did it over 4 supported sessions. The first focused around the low-pass filters, and then the remaining 3 around building the actual ADX itself and tuning it and getting it on the air.
Working on the ADX here with the Cowtown Amateur Club, and it has been a blast. I'm a technician, and this is really the first time soldering something this complex. It's been a great experience, great help. Really excited that we've got the 10-meter capability, so I can jump on and start making contacts on digital HF frequencies.
I'm K5 LPW, Michael. I'm a technician. Really enjoyed this project. It's been really good. Improving my soldering skills 100 times, and really looking forward to having an HF radio now.
The final stage of the build program was taking the radio and actually getting it working on air. And there was no end of smiles around when a radio that you'd built yourself was successfully able to make a QSO. In Sahi's case, the very first QSO was all the way from Texas to Indonesia using 2.8 watts. We also turned each building event into a social one as well, and we started each of our Saturday morning build sessions with breakfast at a local restaurant, and finally, when it was all working, we had a celebratory lunch on the very last day of the Buildathon program. Whilst we didn't complete the build in time for field day this year, that didn't stop one of our members heading out to the field and trying his new radio only a matter of days after it was built.
Coming to you from one of my more favorite state parks in the state of Indiana. I'm a member of the Cowtown Amateur Radio Club, located in Fort Worth, Texas. We recently completed one of our Buildathon activities, in this case, ADX kits. I'd just like to say a few words this morning about my ADX. Here's my completed kit. It is tied to my buddy pole, set up in the vertical dipole configuration. Kind of hard to see because it's well hidden in the trees there. But today my kit is on 20 meters operating FT8 mode. I'm running off of a battery pack consisting of 3 18650 cells in series, which puts out a nominal 12 volts. I've been operating for several hours, so you can see right now I'm down to about 11.8 volts. Right next to and connected to the ADX kit is my Barbs, another product put together by WB2CBA Barb. As you can see from the display on my laptop, I'm hearing stations all over the US quite well. Also a few stations sprinkled throughout Europe, and occasionally some Central America and South American stations as well. I've actually made several contacts this morning, both calling CQ and answering CQ calls. I would like to say that the kit was relatively easy to build. The instructions that Richard put together were quite easy to follow. The kit itself is a real performer, very, very nice on the air. I'm only putting out 2.8 watts, and yet, like I said, making contacts all over the US. I'd just like to say thanks, kudos, and hats off to both Richard VK2ARH, W5ARH, and Barb WB2CBA for their efforts in putting this together. Barb mentioned that one of his objectives in creating the ADX was to make something that new hams could build themselves and get on the air with whatever they built. And I would like to say, from my experience here, Barb certainly met that objective very well.
The ADX is such a portable little unit that other members are also realizing the benefit of taking it with them and operating from the field. So whether in the field or in the shack, the ADX is an absolutely worthwhile project for any club or individual to take on board as a Buildathon project or as a personal construction project. It absolutely met the design brief, and it's been a great success for our club, and we hope the same thing can happen and make it a success for yours. And without this man, it wouldn't have been possible. So to Barb, we raise a glass in celebration and appreciation for all your efforts and making your design available to the amateur radio community.
Thank you for Barb for doing this, and all the effort that you put into designing and bringing your creative mind onto the PCB. We truly appreciate that.
Thank you to Barb, and thank you to Richard here at the club.
Hey Barb, thank you so much for putting the ATX together. We've really enjoyed the project as a club and have learned a lot.
Thank you so much, Barb, for what you're doing for this project for the radio. I've never built a radio, I've just used them. This is awesome. I'm discovering just so much.
We do want to give a big shout out and thanks to Barb for a great project. It's been a great journey for all of us.
Well, I hope you can see what a fun project the ADX has been and what a great little radio this is to use both at home and also out in the field. We've made all our information available so that other clubs and individuals can go on the same journey that we have, and that's shortcutted a lot of work that you would otherwise have had to have done. Also, a big personal thanks to Barb for the guy who put all his effort and energy into designing this great little radio so that clubs such as ours and individuals like you can take up the task and build something that you use and enjoy. So from those of us here in Fort Worth, Texas at the Cowtown Amateur Radio Club, good luck with your project and 73s.